Hello and welcome to the very first Vision Graphics Adobe Illustrator tutorial. I'm really excited about this first tutorial and I hope that you learn a lot. I am using Macintosh, so I will be using all Mac shortcuts, but I will post the Dell and PC shortcuts below the video if you want to check those out. So here we go. First off, obviously, you just want to open up your Adobe Illustrator application. In this first tutorial, I'll be doing really simple stuff, so it doesn't matter what version of Adobe Illustrator you're using. We start out, and you want to hit Command N for your new project. Right here we have the different settings for our new project. So you want to call it something you're going to remember. So I'm going to call it tutorial 1. You want to call it something that you can recall very easily, because if you call something obscure or something, you're not going to be able to pull up the file. So you want to make sure it's a name that you'll remember, something that'll stick. That's okay. You got that. All right, never mind. All right, so we have several settings here. We have custom, print, web, devices, film, and video and film, basic RGB. But today we're just going to stick with custom. A number of artboards. Where this comes in handy is if you are doing a very large project with multiple different pages or different things, like if you're doing a post on Instagram or a web page and you want them all to kind of look the same and they're all fitting together but they're separate, or there's several other things, like if you're working on a logo, you want to split up the logo into four different design concepts, and you want them to all be next to each other so you can see them. So that makes things like that. But we're just going to stick with one artboard today. So custom size, that's what we're going to be doing. But then they have presets here: letter, legal, tabloid, A4, A3, B5, B4. And so that makes it really easy for you just to go ahead and select a preset. Also, you have multiple options for different types of sizes. No matter what over here, no matter what you select, Adobe Illustrator only runs off of vector images. What a vector is it is an image that it's not based on pixels. It is just shapes. Really, that's really the explanation that I can give for a vector. It is shapes, and it's incredible because you can make it. Let's say you're making a logo, and you can make the logo as big as a skyscraper or as small as a business card, and the quality of the logo will not be decreased either way. So it is phenomenal what you can do. So this just gives you it just makes it easy for whatever project you're doing. So if you're running off of, like, if you're doing Instagram and you're doing a profile picture, you would do 1080 by 1080 pixels. But what today we are just going to do, we're just going to run off of inches. So I'm just going to do 10 by 10 and color code CMYK. And you have the two options: RGB, CMYK, raster effects. This is really just so depending on your computer and the RAM, what it's running off of. And if you do high, your computer will move slower. But I like to keep it high so I can see everything nice and crisp. But whatever you would like to do is fine. And then you have preview mode, so default, pixel, overprint. And so I'm just going to run off default because today we're doing the simple stuff. So here we go. So here we are with our blank template, and this all out here will not show up on the print. This is all that will show up. So you want everything to be inside this frame right here. So let's get started by reviewing some of the tools. So the tool I'm using right now obviously is just the mouse, just the regular mouse, which over here is called the selection tool, and that can be opened up by hitting V on the keyboard. And then here you have another very interesting tool called the direct selection tool, and you can either click that or you can open it up by hitting A. And we will get more into that in just a second. So you have these two tools, which will be the two tools that you will, without a doubt, use the most. And then down here we have two more. We have these three tools right here are the second most used tools in this program. So here we have the pen tool, which can be opened up by hitting P. So we'll go ahead and do that really quick. P, and then to go back to your regular selection tool, you hit V, and then you have your text tool, your type tool, and to open that up, you just hit T, and then you can go back and hit V, the type tool, and then you have your rectangle tool, which can be opened up by hitting M, and then you go back, hit V. So let's start out by going to our shape tool. So we're gonna just click here, however big or however small you want your rectangle to be. I'm gonna make mine 2 by 2. So we see that the rectangle just kind of landed off to the side. So if you're working, let's say on a logo, and you're wanting it to be perfect in the middle, so you can easily work on it and have a good perspective, you want to get it centered up. So instead of having to eyeball it, you can go up here to the aligning tools. So to right here, align to artboard is what we have selected right now. So this is the artboard, or you can have it aligned selection, and we will get into that later, but that is when you have another shape and you want to align one shape to the other. But right now we only have one shape, so we want it aligned to the artboard. So let's select our shape, and to get it centered, we want to hit the horizontal alignment tool. So you just see it moved into the center, and now we want to get it vertically center. So we hit this, and now it is perfectly in the center of our artboard. Now you might notice it only has a black stroke on the outside and just a white filling, so it's kind of difficult to really see what we're doing. So we want to make it a solid color so that we're able to manipulate it and still be able to see it, you know. So down here you'll see that we have a white box and a black stroke, and then also that is shown up here on the top left. So to manipulate the fill color, you would double click this, and that can be opened up by hitting X, and you have the option to do multiple different colors. Well, any color you can think of. You have access to RGB numbering, CMYK, and then number codes. So right now we're just going to do black. And to get rid of our stroke, we're going to click here, and you're going to hit this button right here, the white box with an X through it. And so now we just have a solid black box to mess with. So I want to show you how to use the direct selection tool. We will be opening it up with an A. So the cool thing about this tool, so you have the mouse here, and all it really can do is it can warp your shape. It can make it bigger, it can make it smaller, right? Now, the thing that is so interesting about the direct selection tool, and then this is what's so unique about Adobe Illustrator, you have complete freedom to do whatever you want with this shape. I can grab 1 point, I can grab 2 points, I can grab 3 points, or I can grab all 4 if I want to. But let's say I just wanted to grab 1 point. I can literally put it anywhere I want. Does not matter. I can do whatever I want, and it's incredible. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? And then you can put a curve on it, just on that one, or if you select the shape itself, I can make it into a circle. It is so incredible what you can do with this simple tool. And so, yeah, we'll move on from there. The next tool you'll be using is the pen tool. So you would hit P for that. Now, it's cool and all that you just have your regular square, but you can do so much more because this is Adobe Illustrator. So we have the pen tool, which you open up by hitting P. And so I want you to imagine a shape in your head, okay? And all you got to do is start clicking. Start with 1, 2, 3, and see a shape is forming. It's incredible. And then you see right here, there is no line. There's no outline right there. See, all here we have outlines, except for here. The way you finish out your shape, so that was my last click. I go over here, and until I see that, right there, the circle, until I see that, I don't click. But then as soon as I see it, you click down, and your shape is finished. So now we have a custom shape that we just created. So now what else could I do with this? So you go over here and you see the pen tool. Now click it and then hold down. Look at this. You have 3 more tools under the pen tool. So we have the add anchor tool. So you just created a custom shape, but there are still some things that you're wanting to do to the shape. You're wanting to make it a little more intricate. So you can add more points to your shape and make it more flexible and add more make it a little more versatile and editable. And then with the direct selection tool, which you open by hitting A, you can click those points and do whatever you want. It is incredible how flexible this program is. So, and then we move back over here by clicking it and holding it down, and we have, well, the delete anchor tool, and you can probably imagine what that does. It deletes anchors. So, and then last but not least, we have the anchor point tool, which can be opened up by hitting Shift C. And what this tool does is incredible, and it takes your editing abilities to a whole new level. So you hover over a line until that pops up, and then you click, and you can manipulate the once flat lines and make them into super cool curves. What's a shape without some curves? So not only can you create a custom shape, but you can manipulate it to look however you want. If you can imagine it, you can make it. And it's incredible what this program will do for you. So today we have covered the selection tool, just your regular mouse, and it can warp shapes. And then we have our direct selection tool, which can edit individual points and make them do whatever you want, and the others will stay. And then we talked about the pen tool, which can create custom shapes. And then we talked about the add anchor tool, delete anchor tool, and anchor point tool. And now, last but not least, we have the type tool. So what you will do to open up this, you will just hit T, and you select the tool, and then you just click down, and that will open up. That little blinking line will open up just like on any other typing application. And so you type whatever you want. So now that I have my type, you see that it's kind of small, right? So I go up here to character. Now I have options. There's so many options to do with this text, but we'll talk about that in our next lesson, which will be coming up shortly. Thank you very much for watching this first tutorial, and I hope that you log on and watch the rest of our tutorials on go-to-vision-graphics.com, and I would ask that you would also visit Vision Graphics on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram, and give us a like, give us a follow, whatever you do. So thank you very much for watching this, and I hope that you come back. Thank you.